Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, October 7th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, remember that we have a code of conduct, which basically says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and participants and generally be excellent to each other. So let's go ahead and dive in. Oh, I didn't actually make notes for the bottom of the doc yet, but someone else did. Thank you. So please go ahead and put your names in the attendee list. So just put mine. So any updates, big wins this week or new items? The Contributor Summit CFP closed last week. They're working on getting notifications out for that. I know they asked for review on their messaging that they're going to send to acceptances and rejections. So that was already done last week. That was one of our updates and big wins for that, as well as the election. There's still a few lingering things going on there. I actually have a blog post that I need to create a PR for. So that's kind of a lingering thing from the election. Those were updates from last week, but kind of still relevant this week. Anything else that folks have noticed? I feel like last week and this week are kind of merging together for me, at least in the world of open source. Alrighty. Well then, we can just go on ahead and zoom into the calendar then. Guess I'll briefly record what I was talking about. Cool. So let's go ahead and dive into the table. Maybe it'll be a quick meeting today. What do you all think? Is it possible?
Let's go for it. Let's go for a record.
I think that we always start like that, and then it's 1 minute till to the end. We are faced with our failure to.
Yeah, we have ended early a couple of times. Maybe this will be one of those times.
Yeah,
especially since we adopted the table, because I feel like the table has made us so much better at tracking all of the little things that we're working on. So it's good. Also makes our meetings long.
yeah.
So first item I've just left here because it is related to the second item, which Atharva has been helping out with lately. He's not on right now, so we can probably skip that. But the idea there is to make sure that we are being notified when new PRs or issues are created that we need to look at. So automatically adding a comment tagging us whenever the comms team label is applied. Eventually that will happen. Very important thing for us to go over today.
Oh, I know. Like
2 weeks away.
I know. I need to help get those done. It's still open on the other laptop.
Yeah. Anyone who can spare the time, please, please, please help with this. I know I haven't written any myself yet, so geez, that is intimidating though. Like, so for EU, we had so many people jumping up to help with this, and it got done pretty quick. The only issue was that I couldn't have anyone help me get all of the tweets into Twitter because we didn't have buffer yet. But this time we have a very different problem.
Hey, Caslin, let's just maybe color the cells different. Can we just take the EU tweets, copy them in there, and then we could just go in and start editing? I know they're all right there, but let's just copy them in there and kind of mark them a different color, and then somebody can just go in and remove EU and throw an NA or whatever in the right links. And that might help us get it done really quickly. What do you think?
that may be what we have to do this time. I actually did that to begin with, but in the past I haven't done that, so I took them out. So, but yeah,
Let's
whatever
do it.
gets them done, I don't care.
Yeah.
I actually didn't volunteer for this for two reasons. One is that this was the way that I got into this whole thing, because that was the very first thing that I did was to help with the tweets. And so I assumed that there would be like this avalanche of volunteers wanting to do it, and I didn't want to take the place of people that could start there like I did. This is one, and the other is simply because it was North America, but it's irrelevant for the case. So I can add myself to this as well.
There's still a lot though, so if we start with the EU bases, that'll make things a lot faster. Yeah, I think I probably should have put something on the Twitter account about this. I kept meaning to, but I haven't. So maybe I'll do that this week. See if we can get a few more folks to help. But
I'll also contribute to this one. I thought
Much
like we'll have a lot of contributors, but I knew that but I'll add.
there have been like 3 people who volunteered, and I only see one of them. Maybe both of these are folks who newly volunteered in there. I think there's 1 or 2 more that said they were going to help that haven't done anything. Yep. I feel like my low energy is like infecting the world around me. Help on that, much appreciated. I'll try to get a tweet out on that today. And if you want to go ahead and copy messages over from EU so that people can just edit them, you're welcome to. I'll probably need to explain that to new folks who want to join in and help, but I can do that. I think if I do a tweet, I'll probably direct them to ContribEx comms channel so that they can get the context.
And it's just a suggestion, like I said, to help us get it done. But yeah, if you think it's best to direct people over to the EU side, that works too, because I can easily copy and paste.
The reason that I don't usually do that is because of so many of these are the maintainer track ones, and we try to mention the like open source projects that are mentioned in that block of the maintainer track. So those are going to have to change fairly considerably. Like you could still edit those. You could still keep the base and change those a little bit. So it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. The important thing is making sure we get it done and making sure that we can get all of those into the tool before it's done. The one person who's actually written tweets in here so far also put theirs into Buffer, which is very nice. But I think they put them in with the wrong time zone. Oh yeah, I was going to update this and actually grab. So when I did this before, I think I had this differently. So, yeah, owner's local time. Because it's so hard when you're putting these into Twitter to keep in mind what the time zone is that you're working in if you don't set your everything to that time zone. Anyway, so I'll put that in. I think I have that mentioned in the instructions. So cool. Anything else about the tweets? Sounds good. Help appreciated. We'll get something done. Next item. Federico, how is your PR going for this blog?
Yeah, it's going. So I do have the updated changes more or less finished locally at least, and I'm planning to submit them during the weekend. So I think next week we will have a different update here. I briefly passed the idea around also with Scott, so it's going.
Awesome. So, I mean, that's kind of the progress on that one, as we said last time. So
Yep.
check in on that again next time. So the next item.
Yeah, that
is-
the only difference is that next time I need some changes were needed. This time I already have them and more or less validated them as well with the author. So it's more of a push. The actual content change is already done.
Okay, good summary. So you just need to push them up into the PR.
Yeah, and and clean it up just a little bit because I have the content, but I want to make the PR clean. So yeah, that's just
Sounds
the
good.
process part that isn't done.
Cool. So then the next item is updating the owner's file. Thought I would get to this week, and then I got this giant project dropped on me. So expect me to have not done anything this week, which I feel really terrible about. It's been very overwhelming. So granted that, and granted that I have 5 days of work time outside of today before KubeCon, I might not get this done until after KubeCon. I do need to submit that blog post PR for the election. Normally, I would think I can probably do another GitHub thing while I'm doing that, but granted the amount of stuff I've had to do lately, I doubt that I'll be able to keep a thread of thought that long. So anyway, I'm going to move on from that one, give it the update. Might not happen till after KubeCon. Update upstream marketing team, GitHub team. Okay, so Rajula put this one in. Me and Avinash were going to work on this. I think he meant the upstream marketing team that Hina created for us, which does need to be updated. So that's probably another one that won't happen till after KubeCon. And we're getting to that point. Moving on to the next one. The Slack bot is still broken. Imran, you're going to continue to look into this. Have you been able to?
Yeah, I mean, I would really expect something from Rajula to help me out because I don't have any permissions to, test it. So this, this is where I didn't actually have time to check on this. I on some other stuff, but maybe should I ask with Josh on this one?
Yeah, Josh might be a good person to ask.
Okay, but I haven't, I haven't checked on this one. So maybe I'll follow up with Josh next week. Okay.
Yeah. So it goes. Josh was the one who informed us that it was broken. So I think he'll know a little bit more. Also, I think anyone in the Slack admins group, anyone who is a Slack admin, might be able to help you with this.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where that list is.
There should be some YAML in the. I've seen somewhere there's the YAML. I have seen the Git. So I'll check on the coming. So I plan to do it next week. So I didn't come up to there. So.
Sounds good. Next item then, role progress. This is the thing that I feel really bad that I haven't been able to do yet, but I figured maybe we can do it live. Avinash's event coordinator role. Josh wanted an update of the name, which I put in last time and it hasn't happened. So good progress. Avinash is also helping out with Contributor Summit comms. So he's been around, but he hasn't been able to work on this. Yep, and also need to work on that. Okay, so I'm going to put a new comment on this one. Oop, I went all the way back to issues. Just wanted to go back to conversation. This PR needs an updated name. Tom's event lead. And Josh had some comments, particularly around shadowing. All right, so that's the comment for the event role. Next one. Imran, yours is the next one that's open. Haha, you did my review a while ago. Thank you, Ray, for reviewing it and putting in some comments. Awesome. Josh had already looked at this. General expectations, shadow overview.
Yeah, I just want to check if the content is like reflecting the expectations what we're looking at. So
Cool.
that matches, I think.
I shouldn't take the full time to read this in detail now, but it's looking good at a glance. How should I do this? I have 2 meetings after this. I don't want to hold this up when Ray and Josh have already reviewed it. So I'm thinking I should probably just go on ahead and LGTM this. Because I know I looked at it when it was in HackMD, so I have like a basic overview of what you've talked about in it. And Ray and Josh have reviewed it. So I don't want to hold you up. It's better for us to have a role that we can edit than to not have a role. Cool. So that's what I'm going to do. Yep. Sounds good to me. Needs approved in LGTM labels. I'm going to do LGTM approve and hold. And with the hold, whenever you feel that it's ready to go, you can go ahead and let it go. I'll give you that power.
Okay.
I assume that you think it is, but
Yeah,
I'll have you.
I don't know if content wise everything looks fine, then I'm also fine with it. So that's the reason I just was waiting, because the nits and every comments I got it. So content wise, if I don't get, as you said, Ray and Josh reviewed it. So I hope nothing disturbing is there. So
Okay, then I will go on ahead and just approve it and we'll get that in.
Awesome.
Lovely. And blogging lead role. Thank you again, Ray, for putting some comments onto that one. So Frederico, there is a new comment from Ray in here. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No, sorry. Apologies for that.
No, all good.
I'll give it my best attention during the weekend.
Sounds good. I had a note to check in on this one.
I used to be very quick with everything, but now I get a lot of stuff from mails from GitHub, and I'm starting to get a bit lost on what I actually need to do. So apologies. That was the reason.
I started that way. And I still have issues with tracking things in GitHub. So you are not alone on that. In fact, that might be a great thing for a blog post. Because I wonder how other people do this. The biggest thing that has made a difference for me is having the GitHub app on my phone. When I was not getting any notifications about new notifications on GitHub, unless I was like in the browser window, I did not see anything. So phone app, my biggest recommendation. Cool. So it looked like Ray just had one comment and went ahead and suggested the change. So that won't take you long at all. Oh, and it's just the number. The numbers go from 4 to 6. So fixing that. So tiny edit for you. Next item, contributor site. Create a project overview page. Yeah, last time we were saying that you might
Yeah.
close the issue, but we
Yeah.
still need to keep an eye on the content, make sure we're ready to help out
So
with it when it's
actually,
ready.
yeah. So I have
Update?
some yeah, probably a good update as well. So actually, Bob gave some names, Eric and what's the name? Those who are creating contents from the line gate, so the content writers. So actually, I chatted with them, and they are ready to share architecture and all the documents, so I can create a parallel content section for the dev side. So I might actually not give up this idea, so I'll just extract those important pieces and make a content section for the what's required for the ticket. So I've been added. Yeah, they are including me as well. So I will have an IE and also create a parallel section for it. So I'm working on it. I made an
Okay.
update to the issue as well. So I'm on it. So
Oh, nice.
we don't need to close it.
Using
So
GitHub to track the progress of an issue? Wow. I feel like that's hard to do. But sounds good.
so I'll start with the architects. They will share me. It's kind of async we are doing. So they'll share some Google Drive docs for the architecture and so on. So I think I'll ease out something for them. So we'll have some back and forth discussion, and I'll be a good user to test as well the contributor stuff. So I'm also a new contributor. So I think it will go smooth.
Nice. And also, another item that is not on the table is that we need to work on your org membership.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get
Yeah.
that filed. We got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a reminder to anyone, I don't think anyone else, maybe Kim on the call. Anytime, whenever you're ready to go for org membership, let us know. We will sponsor you. We appreciate your efforts contributing to our group. Sometimes our contributions are not reflected in GitHub, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let's do whatever org thingy.
Whenever you're
Yes.
ready. No rush.
Okay. Do I just go? Okay. Yeah, we'll talk later. But
Yeah,
yes.
there's a whole like guide on it somewhere. Imran has found it recently, I think. So maybe a good one to find the link.
And yeah, I
Okay.
found it. Now I have to look at it again because it for one time when I looked at it, what have you contributed? Well, I haven't done a lot on GitHub.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
all my contributions are Google Sheets. So
Those
does
are
that
still
mean I'm
important
not a
contributions.
contributor? They are. They
Yep.
are, but not according to Kubernetes and GitHub. So
Yep.
that's why I'm volunteering. I'm hoping to, continue work with the team to help evolve that. So
If you need GitHub contributions, that is one benefit of us having the GitHub process for tweets. So you can always hop in there and just do a couple of tweets that way, even though it's kind of wonky, and then they will be visible.
Perfect. I can do that. Okay. Thanks,
Nice.
Chasm.
Sounds good. So we'll move on to the next item. Yeah. Update GitHub repo to contributor comms name. Once again, let's see what the status is on this week. These have become working sessions, haven't they? I don't like it though. Oh, yes. Thank goodness. The one that we replied to last week is merged. Oh yeah, that's right, because I took off the hold. So we were just waiting for that. Oop, not that, this. So there's now only one item. And this is the one that's broken. Yeah, so we were probably going to delete this one anyway. So that's probably the comment that needs to go onto that. So this is complete effectively. So our subdirectory name should be changed. So if we go into community, communication, that's still marketing team. Okay, I need to go back and understand which things this was changing. Community communication contributor comms. That is what that was changing. Why does it still look like marketing team? All right, I'm gonna note. This was merged, but subdir name still looks same. What happened? That will be something to investigate later.
Was the additional subdir created?
It didn't look like it in the PR, but that is a good thing to check.
Wanted created the new subdirectory, but left the old one in there.
Because it looks like they were removing the line with marketing team and adding a line with contributor comms. That's
Oh.
an, oh wait, this is in,
That's a README, right? That's a
Yeah,
markdown.
just a readme.
yeah, this is
It
just in
doesn't say-
owners. This is not actually changing the name
Yeah,
of,
yeah. It's not renaming the directories.
yeah. So that's a misnomer. All right. So that probably did what it was supposed to do, but not what we needed it to do, which is probably a miscommunication from this other one that's still blocked.
But those
Lovely.
links may not work though. They have the new links.
Uh-huh.
Seven
Well,
one.
they don't work
Yeah.
because that's still
Yeah,
not
okay.
updated. Lovely. So this one, this had the sigs.yaml changes in it, which I think is why it's broken. Uh-huh. So this just moved this change. But there's several other things that this was going to do. But this doesn't look like.
Yep.
This committee steering governance, SIG governance. Yeah, I don't think any of these actually changed the subdirectory name.
Nope. I checked as well.
All right, so we seem to be missing the change that would make all of these other changes work.
Okay.
Seems to have been a misunderstanding on my part.
I could make that PR if it's
That would be
If
much
it's needed.
appreciated. Apologies that we didn't highlight this sooner. Some interesting movement on this 6 days ago, but anyway, so I'm putting in a comment on this that they didn't actually do the thing.
I actually have a Zoom session to review how to use Git, how to do some Git stuff. So I'm going to use this as our example today, the new contributor. So it should be up in about 2.5 hours.
Okay, sounds good. Wait, so did you go ahead and create the PR, or you're going to create the PR?
No, I'm going to create the PR as a walkthrough for
Okay.
there's a
Oh,
new
right,
contributor that
yes.
asked me to help out with some Git stuff. So
Yes. Sounds good. So I'll tag you into this issue. Let's make sure that we update the issue once we have that PR.
all right, sounds good.
Okay. That's similar to progress. Let's move on from that. SIG spotlights. So Mofi, who was on the call last week, mentioned an interest in picking up one of these. So I gave him the materials, and someone else who was on our call last week also reached out interested in doing one of these. That was Arpit from last time. But I haven't seen any progress from them since I shared the materials on creating SIG spotlights. Federico, you're still on. So any updates on SIG architecture? Don't you need to be on another meeting? Is he actually on another meeting?
No. I'm
Okay.
here. I'm on and off.
Oh no.
No, so yeah, that is the thing that I've mentioned in the chat. For
Gotcha.
SIG architecture, we have arranged a different deadline, obviously because last one wasn't really fulfilled, and for SIG security, it's back to active because I got interest from another co-share, so I'm following up with them if the next steps, namely the creation of the Google Docs, etc.
Okay, sounds good. And I also just noticed, by the way, sorry, in the chat that Ray shared Kades.reviews or review. Yeah, no, reviews.
And it's not
So another tool.
HTTPS as well. So it's HTTP. That's
Ah.
another tool to look up. Gives you a nice dashboard. You have to give it your permissions to allow for your Git handle to be used. It'll just give you a dashboard of what issues and PRs needs your attention.
Oh,
Thank you.
that looks wonderful.
Right? We could all use some help. All right. So thank you very much, Federico, for your update on the SIG architecture blog post. Do you think we probably won't see significant movement on that until after KubeCon? I feel like
well,
that's one of those
yeah.
tasks that often would be that way.
Well, the problem with this is that there's always something going. It's either a KubeCon somewhere, or
Yeah.
the enhancements freeze, or beginning of the cycle, or the end of the cycle. So it's very hard to identify a good period. But with KubeCon North America, I suppose that we will not be seeing a lot of movement there.
All right.
Except perhaps for security, in which since after the go, I still need to do stuff on my side. That is something that will likely happen.
Oh, so we're updating the status of this one.
Yeah, exactly. That is back to active. I would say confirming, interest confirmed, and discussing next steps or something like that.
Also, probably won't really move until after KubeCon, though.
Yeah, yeah. If I get the okay, that's the Google Docs idea sounds good, I will move with the questions, which is not something irrelevant in terms of time, because generally I like to go and watch videos of SIG security, read the meeting minutes of SIG security and stuff like that to get some more apropos questions. So
Awesome. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing on those.
Yeah.
Really appreciated.
My pleasure.
And to add on, so Frederick also given me some hints. So I'll also start with this spotlight stuff. I've identified some SIGs, so Frederick had given some idea how to approach them, and so next week I'll start going to the channels and asking some questions to get started.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Exciting. Love it when folks work on this project, because it's such a great way for you to explore the project and get to know people.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Now we have our new blogging guidelines, so which is the next item. So the updates to the blogging instructions were merged. I don't know why I left this in here. It is complete, but I'm still excited about it, so I'm still going to leave it here. Reminder that that's there for you as a resource. Next item. migration from Katacoda to GitHub Codespaces. Our last update was that they weren't quite ready for help on that yet, but it's something we've been keeping an eye on. Any updates there? Ray, you've been kind of close to this, or anyone else?
No updates. They'll definitely be after KubeCon. The only thing that I have, I haven't really talked to Craig Peters, but I've talked to another contributor who has worked with Craig Peters on Codespaces, or will work with Craig Peters on Codespaces. So I told him about that. We're looking to move our Katacoda stuff over to Codespaces as well.
Cool. Sounds good. So we'll move on. Validate command still broken. We were wondering if it would be fixed by the new Twitter Together update.
Yeah. So I have some updates on. So actually, it won't fix it. So because this is a custom code, which I think one of the contributor developed using the custom JavaScript for this action. So I created the issue in the 6 contributor tweets accounts. I want to test the GitHub action because I feel that the expression which GitHub action used might be kind of not correct. That's my belief. So I want to test and see. But again, to test them, I'm actually struggling to test it because it's in my branch and I don't know how to, test this stuff, which with the code change, how could I test it? So it would be nice if, someone knows how to test it, would be to help. Because I have it in my own branch, I want to test this action itself. So I'm changing the action to GitHub actions. And so if it's unless and until it's on I'm testing on a fork branch, I'm pushing it, but it's not working out. So it's kind of
part of the reason that our stuff is so wonky is because it is within Kubernetes and it has this weird PR process.
So I actually found out the areas and looked at the source code and why the validate string doesn't work out. I assume that it has to do with the conditional expression, which has a wrong. It's not. I think it's not evaluated all the time. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. This validate command. So maybe fixing the.
That does sound like what's happening.
So I changed them. So I created a PR, but the problem is that I need to test this because I can't just like that. I don't know how should I proceed with this. I just need help on this one.
Yeah. Well, when you can't test it not in prod. Maybe the answer is test in prod.
Actually it's Rajula was created this stuff. I think Rajula, who are the tech contributors when they started. I don't know. I just want to understand how they tested it initially before they put it on the prod. So I don't know how.
Well, initially they did have like a private repo that they were testing things out on. But also, I mean, originally the Twitter account was new and we didn't have any automation to do it. So people weren't paying that much attention.
Okay. Now, now I don't know how to do it. Either I create a private Twitter account and then give a URL and secret token and test it probably. That way it might also, but it's too much of overhead.
I think that is what they did. They had like a separate Twitter account.
So then the action and it probably works out that way.
That would work.
That will work. It'll take little time, more time than expected. So I'll work on it. So I like this way. So I'll create a private account and then try to make sure the action works. But that's the way to fix it, I suppose.
Okay. Let's record that. I'm working on.
I can also provide the PR. I think.
Fix. That would be lovely. GitHub action fix. To redirect to a test account. That might actually be a good process to record. If you can redirect our usual automation to this test account for testing purposes, just kind of temporarily break that automation and have it sent to a different spot. I think that would probably be not terrible way to do these
Yeah.
testing type
Mhm.
activities. So
Yeah, I also see that last time Mofi or someone suggested that we want to do more GitHub actions covering buffer and so on. So I think we
Yeah.
can prepare this account and make it ready to do the further testings and this automation stuff.
yeah, so Mofi is actively looking into creating new automation to
Mhm.
use Buffer to take the
Yeah.
things from GitHub and get them
Yeah.
tweeted out.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask that one as well, because if you go on this track, maybe we can directly look at the up-to-date mechanism, how we just coordinating the current workflow rather than using this GitHub way. So
The issue with this is that that Buffer doesn't have a public API that you can do this using anymore.
mhm.
So it's possible to be done using Zapier, which is the automation tooling that we're using
Automation.
for doing the blogs,
Mhm.
automatic blog tweeting. So he's looking into some things for that.
Okay. Okay, let me set up the account and make it kind of, I get going on with this, and we'll probably sync in one of the meetings and we'll see.
Yeah, sounds good. Or so Mofi's looking into options for GitHub Actions X Buffer deprecated their public API in 2019. Expect people to use something like Zapier. So he's working on understanding the workflow that we could build with like a GitHub action that triggers Zapier and then Zapier triggers Buffer. He's very enthusiastic about it, so he is actively working on that. He said he was going to do some testing last I talked to him, and I think I will be chatting with him in my next meeting. So I might not check in on that though, because we have to do other work. But anyway, next item. There is a blog still kind of sitting here about Linux Foundation mentorship. Meha hadn't seen these. We updated this last week. Okay, so Meha's gonna make the updates to that. Alrighty, so there shouldn't be anything else there. Gonna move on. Keep track of SIG docs blog subproject process changes. Ray, you were gonna create
No update.
something based on these. Okay, cool. I mean, you're
But
doing so many things.
I am chatting with Craig Peters about the code spaces, and he actually really wants to work on it ASAP.
Okay, that's good stuff. If he needs help, we are keeping track of it and trying to make sure we'll be available. So I'll go ahead and move on from that. Okay. Security comms guidelines, that's on hold. We don't need to talk about it. And scheduling tweets. Someday, maybe that will work. I guess really this is the one that Mofi is working on.
Mhm.
Yeah, looking into creating an action. Yeah, that is a thing that's happening. So
let's say
that's it.
yeah, no.
Anything else? You're gonna say something about the scheduling?
No. I was just thinking, like, I mean, like, if you just streamline our GitHub Actions thing, so kind of speak with Buffer, then actually all our current stuff will be gone, so that we'll have a new workflow matching our Buffer way of
Yeah.
doing things.
Would be nice.
Because I saw that the old let's say the existing automation has some custom code with JavaScript and so on, so it creates a lot of overhead. So maybe we can find a simple way to do this as well. So
You and Mofi should chat about this.
yeah,
He's very excited about it. I think he would enjoy going through what he's looking at with you.
I'll ask him maybe. Asking
Yeah.
with him and then
He is in our channel now, so
okay.
you can find him as a recent addition here. Mofi, there he is.
Oh.
Yep.
I see.
All right. So that's it for our table. 10 minutes early. It's something. Any last updates before we sign off? All right. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone. I know everyone is super busy. Really appreciate all of the work that you all are putting in. It's so wonderful to have you all in this group and working with us. I really appreciate it. If you need
Thank
any
you.
help, if you need any help during the week, you know where to find us. I'll
Have
go
a great
ahead and
weekend,
stop the
everybody.
recording.
Happy weekend. Bye.
Great weekend.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.